After getting suspended to end my freshman year because James Madison wouldn't fake my grades, I have no choice but to enter the transfer portal again. Getting benched caused me to miss the conference championship, and I still can't believe that happened, but it means we have to find a new home a second time, and thank you to EA for allowing me to capture this early access footage. You would think that a guy that just threw for 36 touchdowns would have a little bit more demand, but of the teams that want to make me the starter, Kansas State is probably the best one. They went 9-4 last year, and I just have a bunch of young guys behind me on the depth chart. What I quickly realized though was schools that offered for me to be the second stringer that had a senior at quarterback, get this, would not have that guy around the next season. So that opens up the possibility of playing in a conference like the SEC where a team like Auburn just went 13-1. I had to scan the entire conference, and for these bigger schools, I've looked through all of them. There's only a couple where I'd actually start. You know I'm not going to go to Tennessee. But I've continued to use the logic that anybody listed as a senior is not going to be a part of that roster, and I have stumbled across one other school. Ole Miss, a team I could bring up myself that also has some sick baby blue jerseys. Plus Lane Kiffin and I go way back, like we've totally known each other since I was a baby. That's the school that stuck out to me. Even if I'm gonna have to sit for a year, it can allow me to refocus on studying so I don't get suspended again. I'll also be able to build up a ton of skill points so we can continue to maximize Tyreek Milton II's overall, and that's why I'm gonna play Tyreek sophomore and junior year in this video. The goal is to become the starter before the end of this season, but I have a feeling it's gonna be hard to make that happen since Gio Lopez is quarterback 1. And this is an early access build, so everything you see is work in progress. When locking in for this season, I have a couple goals. We have 2 NIL slots available. We're going to want to keep those filled at all times. We're also going to make sure that we get a degree this year. We are not going to just scrape by because that did not work. We are very fortunate that since Lane Kiffin likes us so much, we're listed as quarterback 2 despite being the lowest overall quarterback on this depth chart, and then Gio Lopez is going to graduate, so next year we'd be the starter. If it doesn't work that way, I might be transferring again a few minutes later in this video. And for myself, going through practice consistently is going to be one of the most important things that I can do. But by this point, you all have seen plenty of that in this road to glory, so I'm probably not going to show too much as we just dodge that barely. I've set this season up as a year developing, a year regrouping, and what I've noticed is this drill has gotten a lot easier since my throwing accuracies have gone up. Throughout the year, it should be pretty easy to gain 300 coach trust from practice every single week. And since I'm listed as the backup quarterback on the depth chart, I do have to hop into every single game. I probably won't show many of these to you all, but I want to experience this run out. Here we go. We got the fans pumped. And this is probably, outside of Virginia Tech, of course, the most hype one that we've had. I just wasn't the biggest fan of James Madison. The student section's going crazy. They're just going to watch me sit on the bench. And I think I might have overestimated how good Ole Miss was going to be. We just won in double OT. Apparently, you can also lose followers as well, because we dropped down from 10K followers to 7,000. I guess people don't want to follow someone that's sitting on the bench. We just brought it back up though. I gotta say, so far, we're having an incredible season. We haven't lost a single game, but we didn't even get in against an FCS school. And it's been a pretty boring year, even though we're doing way better than I was expecting the Rebels to play. I simply go to practice, I do my weekly agenda every week, and now we're going to be playing against Georgia, where this was a huge matchup, so I was really hoping that it'd be a night game. Maybe we'd have the light show to look out to. Instead, though, we're just going to tap the head, run out onto the field, and hope that we don't lose. Sometimes I wonder if I ended up making a mistake going where I go, but then I look around at my potential receiving core next season, assuming I'm the starter, and I'd be throwing to a lot of guys that are going to be back on this team. Even though I've been focused on gaining followers up to 28,000 this year, no NIL deals, we have to use training if we want to get a lot of skill points still, which affects our health, and academics is not easy. I say all of that to say that it is pretty boring going down the pathway that I have chosen to do, where I'm sitting out a year. There's been no pop-ups about anything exciting happening on campus. I'm not saying I need to be attending frat parties or something, but we need something else going on this year. By this point, we've not gotten that much more coach trust, though we are about to unlock audibles, so whenever we're on the field, we'll actually be able to audible. It's just we're not going to be able to pass up Gio Lopez, which we shouldn't be. He's like a 94 overall quarterback. I just don't have a purpose really to even hop into these games at this point. It turns out, though, the one I skipped over, we passed for 19 yards. We went 3 for 5, so evidently I should have played against Kentucky. There's always the chance for injury, too. We might get thrown out there. We're playing at Death Valley. LSU is number 2 in the country, so this could be a big win. What we're going to need, though, is former South Alabama and North Carolina quarterback Gio Lopez to put up more than 14 points. That last touchdown, you all saw it. It came in the final seconds, so we're going to lose. I don't think you can write us off for making the playoffs, though, because we play South Carolina, UConn, and then Mississippi State to end the year, who's ranked 18. Well, we ended up beating South Carolina 34-14, and of course we handled business versus the Huskies by 21, but this sets us up for a massive game to end the regular season, because if we can beat Mississippi State, then we're probably going to be in the playoffs, but if we lose, then we're not. I'd also like to point out, I have been working so hard on academics that we've been able to get it all the way up to almost flying colors, and if I just have a decent practice, then I'm going to unlock audibles. Even though I'm a bit disappointed there wasn't more action going on this season, we've really set ourselves up to have a good year next year, and let's see if we win the Egg Bowl. This is a big one for us. Again, we're not getting a night game, we haven't gotten a light show yet, and we have barely touched the field this season, but next year this will be our team to lead. I am very disappointed to say, though, that you can see it. Mississippi State won the game. They're lifting up the trophy. They beat us 27-10. What that means for us is we're going to have to just play in a regular bowl game. Our rivals are getting into the college football playoffs, and there's a lot that we can strive for next year. I do believe it's important that we start to spend the 30 skill points that we have, though, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it into accuracy. That means we only have to spend 10 more to fully max it out. If we spend a little on IQ, we're up to a 79 overall. And I'm gonna be honest, I should have prioritized getting on the field because we would have earned a lot more skill points. That was a tough lesson to learn, but we're getting Memphis in our bowl game. And I wish that players like Gio Lopez, who are most likely going to be an early draft pick in the NFL, would sit out for a bowl game like this so we'd have an opportunity to actually get in. Instead, we just had to watch as we won by 3. So basically, by this point in Tyreek's career, he's been on the bench for 2 of the 3 years that he's been in college. And I can't believe we could even leave to the NFL, but that's probably because you can just import any player over no matter how bad they are. We could also enter the portal. It'd be kind of funny if we went back to James Madison now that we figured out our academics. What I'm curious about, though, is what Ole Miss is going to have us at. I feel like we should be the starter, but it says we're going to be second string behind Gio Lopez, which is still fine. He's about to graduate. He couldn't even get this team into the playoffs where Alabama won it all. And I had to check what our trophy room was looking like so far. We have been able to win a bowl game. We also won a bowl game on the bench while we were suspended at James Madison. And then we won a bowl with Virginia Tech too, but I don't think we played in that either because we got benched for being bad. That might be one of the most insane things I've ever seen. For 3 straight bowl games, we have not been able to be on the field, but we've won all of them. Thinking back on this though, even though I skipped over it, I'm like 99% sure we didn't win a bowl whenever we got suspended. Oh well, it wouldn't be one of these games without some bugs every so often. Look at our receiving core though. I am stoked if we can become the starter. We're going to have our opportunity as well because of all the coach trust we have with Lane Kiffin. For our first drill, it's Scramble Survive. It's my least favorite, but this is our chance to prove that we should be the starter here at Ole Miss. We're going to need our receiver to catch that. This drill used to be really challenging to me. It doesn't seem challenging now. We're basically just one completion away from being able to end this. We're going to throw it, and he doesn't catch it. I mean, we're going to get this, and that should be it, but he didn't make a touchdown grab. We lost. That was literally the one thing that could not happen there, and we can't drop. If we start dropping passes, this drill is going to be very hard to win. I haven't run this at all in this video, but remember, it is all about the multiplier adding up, so we needed to come away with it. As we get closer to the end, I think we're going to end up being okay, especially because of those checkdowns. But I was worried for a second, and look at our guys routing them up. I think we're going to be fine. After winning that one, for our final drill, we have the one that I feel like I'm best at. 90% of last season was me running this drill, which means I can easily get the 12,000 points. It's almost like Lane Kiffin just wanted me to be the starter, and he gave me the easiest drill he knew we could complete. With the position battle one, it's not going to guarantee the rest of the year that we're quarterback 1. If we make mistakes, there's a guy behind us, Will Wilson, that could easily take the job. In fact, he definitely scares me because even though he does not have the level of coach trust that we do, he is a 92 overall, and we're actually behind Seontae Davis, a freshman as well. It has also just hit me that Lane Kiffin took a job somewhere else. That's right, he isn't here at Ole Miss anymore. I could have transferred out. He left us for Oklahoma. If we have them on our schedule, we have got to make sure that we take them down. We got Georgia pretty early on in the year. We get to play Florida at home, LSU at home. It's going to be tough, and there's Oklahoma. The game against LSU is a night game, so I'm really looking forward to that, but we're opening up the year against a 59 overall. I don't know how South Alabama has conned us into traveling to their stadium, but we have gone all the way down to Mobile. We might run into RBT on the way. we're going to see if we can win in the rain. It's Tyreek's first game with Ole Miss. We have a lot of play changes, but this playbook might not be one of my favorites. We're just going to have to play it out throughout this year and see what we can work with. I mean, that's an easy completion. But I had actually started to get really comfortable to what we were running with James Madison. It's nice knowing our receivers are good, though. Maybe not against SEC corners, but against South Alabama, we should always have somebody open. I have to say, though, only having run options from the 13 I can select from on 3rd and 3 is pretty scary, so we might switch up the playbook anyway. You're able to do that before you get into a game. I mean, I literally ran straight into that last tackle. I just fumbled. And there's no way we're struggling with the Jaguars. It is 14-0. I'm literally about to just space their defense out and see who we have deep, because surely somebody's going to be there. This is not good. If we can't compete against South Alabama, what are we going to do against the SEC teams? I thought I was ready for this level. I thought I was ready for the step up because we did so well with James Madison, and maybe I am. We just got to get a little bit more familiar with the team. I also just realized something. I have audibles. I completely forgot that we unlocked those due to coach trust, but it doesn't really matter what plays coach calls now. I can just change it up to whatever I want to run. Utilizing play action, we had our tight end, but I decided that I wanted to throw it to that one instead. I think we're going to be all right. It's just the play changes whenever we're on the road are going to be a lot harder to go in the play. We're going for the touchdown, though. We can make that. Maybe we can't. We're going to see if we can get the defense to bite on our tight end, which left him wide open. And Lewis has been pretty consistent for us so far, but I feel like my offensive line isn't even giving me a chance. I mean, we're playing South Alabama. Our defense is also getting destroyed, by the way. They have given up 21 points in this first half, though I saw that we had the speed there. We're catching that. We need to end this first half strong, and theoretically we should. We just have to pick up 10 more yards, and with this drag, we're going to get like 7 or 8 of it. I have a feeling that that same route is going to be open again. I didn't look anywhere else. We are so going to lose this game. We have a chance at a Hail Mary on the final play of the half, but they're probably going to pick it off as well. 2 picks on the season already because I just forced it up. For all I know, we're going to end up getting benched. Oh my gosh, the play action got them to bite though. First play of the 3rd quarter. Keep on running. Our teammate got in the way. Why would you do that? Why would you ruin what could have been such an incredible moment? On a 3rd and goal, we had to just fit it in. I don't know what to say either about the fact that South Alabama continues to score. I saw some major PI on this play. And here's the thing. I think we're about to lose. I mean, we're actually going to need a miracle here. They haven't played us the best either. It's literally just the fact that our defense hasn't gotten stops, and we've had some fluky stuff happen. Good move, though. All right, here we go. The reads are simple. I'm not going to throw it to the middle linebacker if they're guarding it, but eventually the drag will get there. We've also been able to get the ball back pretty quick. Utilizing play action again, I wanted to just send it. We have our tight end, and he outran them. We've tied it back up at 28. That was such a fast turnaround. It was going to look bad. It was going to be an upset. Not anymore. Our defense has really locked in. They forced a turnover, getting us the ball back with 2 minutes left in somewhat of a rough position, but we have good accuracy stats now. In previous years where that throw would have never worked, we're able to complete it. That one we shouldn't have, but let's just settle down. All we need is a field goal, and I didn't take the drag, which was a mistake. I'm pretty certain we had our running back open too. I was trying to go for the bigger play, and we're going to try to go for the bigger play here as well. It's off target. We have to lean on our defense again. It turns out we can. We've made it to overtime against South Alabama. We are in overtime against South Alabama. I mean, come on. There is a pretty solid quarterback run out of this playbook. I am liking it the more I get familiar with it, but I had a really bad read at the end of one of our drives in this game, and that's what caused us to really go downhill. Fortunately for us, our defense, after giving up points to South Alabama at the start of overtime on their first drive, they got a stop on their second drive, and we just won with a game-winning touchdown. But that didn't feel too electrifying because we're playing on the road, and there is a stadium full of South Alabama fans that fell just completely silent. This is the most passing yards I've ever thrown for in a game, though. But it is not a school record at Ole Miss, the same way it would have been if we were still at James Madison. We did get a lot of skill points from that performance, though. We're up to 5 already. I think what we need to do is just save on throw power. Throw accuracy has seemed to be really solid. And then there's stuff like health, quickness, and elusiveness. I don't really care for much of this to go up. It is expensive, but I guess getting Magician, at least the first tier, would be nice. It is really hard to balance on what we should be focusing on. You can't be good at everything unless you're just a 5-star and you play well for your whole career. That's what it seems like. I guess we've only been the starter for 1 of the 3 years in this career, so that does contribute to that. But why are we playing on the road at Buffalo? This is far from Mississippi. I could only imagine that someone that used to be a coordinator at Ole Miss is now a head coach at Buffalo or something. We're trying to start off the game with a huge play, and I might need to respect these smaller schools more. I mean, we saw what South Alabama did to us last week. I just saw a spot in the defense I could fit the ball into. What I really don't want is another scare. I see man-to-man coverage. I see that we should be able to go to the 10, and I'm excited for this quarterback run. It could lead to a touchdown, or it could lead to about nothing. Then there's this play. I remember it from NCAA Football 14. It forces you to immediately sprint out and make a very quick read. I did not set up our receiver for success, though. We might just have to settle for 3. It's all right. We're used to competitive games against even the small schools. That's what we dealt with last week. We persevered, and as long as we keep on getting these gains consistently against them, we're going to be fine. Every so often, I'm mixing a play that could take the top off of their defense, if they're not prepared for it, which is what's going to happen right here as we get into the end zone. At first, I was a little bit hesitant on the amount of play action in this playbook, but now I'm starting to become a fan of it. And it's like the game knows whenever I'm setting up to take some shots down the field because they prepare so well. On this 3rd down, though, we're still going to be fine. I guess they were guarding hard flats. I just know that we're never going to have that amount of time once we get to SEC play, unfortunately. This should also never ever work that well for us. And you know what? Let's cook together a 99-yard drive of smart reads, not just forcing it into tight windows, and definitely not taking a safety. I mean, we just had to wait for that receiver to get right by the zone. I'm feeling better about this game so far, though I don't think the route that Williams is on is very good in this game compared to last year. Playmaker, though, could have worked. We still have a decent bit of time before we get to halftime, though if we don't pick up this 3rd down, we're just punting it straight back to him. Or maybe not. Coach is letting me come out in hurry-up mode. Ideally, we get a field goal out of this drive. We go up by 17 points to end this first half. I just don't know what field goal range looks like for us, but I feel like this should be enough as we stiff-arm him. That was a great run from Tyreek Milton II. I love the extra effort. I also love that we can split these safeties right off the bat. I really wish I could control the type of catches that these receivers went for, though. I mean, this is an awful read. If we couldn't pass lead on some of these, we would not be getting them as completions. They're sticking well over there. And I'm definitely noticing the accuracy buff that we now have versus what we've had to deal with in previous weeks. There was a zone on that guy for the longest time. They're throwing me off with their coverage, but obviously they aren't throwing me off too much. I mean, we've had a crazy game. Look at that catch. Now Lewis has like the clearest path to the end zone ever, especially if they think we're about to run the football. All we had to do was pick up 1 block. This game's basically over, so not too much more should even be shown from it. But here's the problem. Once I normally get ahead like this is when I start to turn the ball over a lot. I think I've handled the clock a lot better in this matchup, though. I'm not forcing stuff when it's not there. I'm willing to take sacks. And here's where I'm going to get tempted. I'm going to want to try and split those safeties, especially if it was a cover 2 look. But if it's not there, we're just going to have to settle for a field goal. At the end of the day, we played a really solid game. We played like we were the number 16 team in the country. We threw for over 400 yards again. No turnovers this time. But I'm pretty sure after this matchup, our schedule gets a lot harder. I think Georgia's next up, and they're obviously always going to be a problem. Why do we have a stripe crowd versus an FCS school, though? We might be taking the Rebels a little bit too seriously. I mean, if we can't just score touchdown after touchdown, there is a major issue. Do you see how easy that looked? I don't think there's any difficulty that could make this game challenging for us, which is why I am fully willing to go for highlight plays. We haven't gotten to do this in a little bit, though I think we're about to get caught. Bad idea. I don't know why I thought that was going to work. Tyreek Milton cannot be doing stuff like that. It has put us on a 2nd and 56, and we're about to get like 5 yards back. What does that help? My only hope is they don't respect Lewis again. Maybe we can hit Alfred deep as well. I mean, is it worth the risk? Probably not. We should probably just end this drive here. With my respect levels needing to raise a little bit, I'm coming out on this next drive prepared. And it seems like they clamped. In fact, I don't know why we're running the ball on 3rd and 10. I was expecting us to have to throw it here. But just putting guys on streaks and hoping that they get open isn't the most viable strategy in the world, except I lied. Just when I was starting to say, hey, they're actually playing better against us, they do this. The great thing about Tyreek Milton II is he has me to sit here, look at what the defense is running, and say, we can annihilate that. Now, There was definitely a bunch of guys getting bunched up on that play, and we were just lucky enough to get free. But I've gone back to my ways of just wanting to send it down the field, so that's what we're going to do. I mean, you got like a 65 speed linebacker manned up on the line trying to stop us. Then we forced a turnover to get the ball back right here. I just feel bad. What would be sweet is if Road to Glory at this point would just bench us, if we could be taken out of the game. Instead, I'm going to have to play most likely the entire second half, at least the third quarter. I could try and go for passing records here, but it just doesn't necessarily feel right. I mean, that's with 84 throw power. How is that working? I guess we are playing a 50 overall team with the plan of literally just passing for as many yards as possible and setting up deep shots over and over, but I would not feel confident just tapping a button and expecting them to get open. We probably would, but I feel like that's how you throw an interception. I'm going to set ourselves up to split the seam here. If it's man-to-man, once again, we're going to cook. If it's not man-to-man, I wasn't ready to make any other read. But we're still going to get a huge gain against them because their coverage stats are awful. The only reason I'm still even trying at this point is because I know that we're going to be able to set some crazy records by going off like this. And I'm curious if there's any pop-ups in the game that would say, hey, you've set a school record. You know what we're not going to get to do, though? Experience a school record. They took us out at the start of the fourth quarter. This was the greatest performance ever. 12 for 15 for 500 yards, completing 80% of our passes, 7 touchdowns. Only 5 of our completions weren't touchdowns. It turns out that even if there wasn't a pop-up in-game, though, we did set the Ole Miss single-game passing touchdowns record. And I figured that would put us in the Heisman Trophy race. So far, down there, you can still see last game, so all the stats of these other guys. But if we go in and we view their player stats, we can actually see their stats for the year, which is nice. We're able to compare what we're doing to what some of the other quarterbacks are doing, and coach is just really happy with me. Now, what I've learned is if you get all the way up to maxed out coach trust, 32,000, I think the entire playbook opens up, so you can select whatever you want. It's going to be a little bit harder to achieve since I've decided we're just going to simulate practice every week, which causes you to lose 37 coach trust and I think 7 coach happiness. Yeah, it's in the bottom right corner. We also get to play Washington State before we have to go on the road at Georgia, so we have one more game that shouldn't be as challenging before SEC play starts, but Washington State's going to be better than the other 3 teams we faced. This is one of those matchups, though, where they could also sneak up on us, even though we're playing super well. And I have to know, do you all think it was worth it for me to sit out for a year just so we can experience all this now? I mean, the only other option I passed up on that might have given us a better opportunity than this was going to Auburn, but I figured Drew, not the expert, was going to do something with Auburn some point pretty soon into the release of this game just because he's an Auburn fan, so I wanted to stick with Ole Miss. I also just really like their jerseys. I think I would have been pretty bored with the jerseys that Auburn wears. We got some red ones too. At least they gave us credit for the catch though. If we just get this ball out, we'd be fine. And what's important to keep in mind is about like a 2.5 second clock whenever you drop back in the pocket. Especially if you count to 3 and you still haven't gotten it out, you're most likely just going to be taking a sack. And unfortunately, after stopping us, they were able to get onto the board, but we can bounce back. I'm sensing they're sending a lot of blitzes, so we're actually going to take the play action off right here, and we're just sending it up. We have all of these receivers that are pretty quick. We catch it. There's no reason we should have caught that ball, but we still did. That's a little head top. I thought we were just going to outrun them. We didn't, but look at my favorite receiver over there. Lewis, do you have what it takes to beat that press? I know you do. I know you do. I saw the animation, and we're going to get another bomb against this team. They're doing it right back to us, though. They just scored extremely fast. So we're going to get into some shootouts this season. That's for sure. Can I make a play out of this, though? It's worth it. It wasn't worth it. It was not worth the interception. The highlight that could have came from completing a 10-yard pass after running backwards for 20 yards just doesn't equate to throwing a pick. We also just set them up so they're now able to tie the game up at 21, but I can tell off of the coverage that they're in that if we have enough time to get that ball off, we're going to have the faster receiver. I mean, Washington State is sending the house, and on third down, I don't think we're going to be able to pick this up. So we're going into the second half in the same position we were just in, tied up at 21, though they didn't have a quarterback spy out here, and we got to make sure that we get down. I got to say, I really like that animation. It doesn't take them like 3 seconds to slide whenever you get that one. I mean, I'd fumble it so many times last year just because our quarterbacks wouldn't know how to get to the ground quicker. Why are they still pressing? They have an aggressive defense that they're running, and it's not working on us. I mean, I'm coming out prepared on every play to have some deep read down the field. Like if this is man-to-man coverage, our running back could be there. If it's zone, we just got to be a little bit patient and hope that we can bring that in. Also, break the tackle. What a dog. No, Oh, I thought he was still up. I really thought Williams was about to go all the way there. I might just need to give him another chance to make a play. So I'm locked in. Give me cover 2, and he's getting hit over the top. He just got pressed up. Well, it is 3rd and 22 here. The only thing I could see potentially working for us is something like this, which is going to. We just weren't able to hang on to the ball, so we're staying up by 7 at the end of the 3rd quarter. At least we got the stop, and despite playing with a way higher gunslinging mentality than I have for any other part of this career, we're going to start to be a bit more passive. That even means handing the football off. I think this is the first time in 4 games that we're handing the ball off, but we want to take off some time. If we're going to have a good season, make it to the playoffs, we just can't afford to lose to a team like Washington State. I might have a slight problem, though, because if I see a matchup I like Williams having a shot at a deep ball, even if they get him pressure quick like that, I'm giving him a chance to make a play. He deserves it. He's gone off for us in this game. On 3rd down, we just need to catch this. And with the timeouts coming out, we're in a much better position to close the game. What we basically need to do is just pick up 1 first down. And we'll see what type of coverage they run here. If it's man-to-man, I know where I want to go, but I didn't have enough time. That means it's on our defense. And I'm not even going to act surprised. They gave up a touchdown. So with a minute left in this game, it's on us to not throw an interception straight back to Washington State. It was a bad throwing meter. We can't be having that. I held it down for way too long. They scored another touchdown in 30 seconds. This collapse is crazy. The worst part is they are backing up as well. Last year, they wouldn't have backed up here, and we might have stood a chance. Instead, we need to use another timeout. All right, they just came up to the line a little bit more, especially one of their safeties coming up heavy. We're looking for an awful throw. If anything, we need to keep our hopes alive by just quickly picking up a first down. And we're going to see how quickly we can get this next snap off. We still have 1 timeout left, which means we can get a little bit closer. Well, we just blew it. We just blew a game that I thought we had locked up for sure. I don't even think we have a strong enough arm to reach the end zone. It gets deflected, and we have to somehow bounce back now the rest of the year with only losing maybe 1 more. I mean, we're doing something right. We've been able to get up to 15 skill points, which means our accuracy is maxed, but we couldn't get as high as I was hoping in some of these categories. We also need to keep an eye on our career health. It's already down to just 50%. Our season health too. I made sure we repaired there. We've been focusing on academics since we have an exam coming up, and there's just been no NIL deals. We're falling down to number 18 in the polls. With the Bulldogs up next on the road, we know that we're about to go into a crazy atmosphere. They are 15 overalls higher than us, and all of these audibles, all of these deep shots are something I need to make sure that we refrain from here, because if I try to take deep shots against Georgia, it's going to go bad. I mean, for the stats side of thing, it's been very nice in that regard, but that's literally about it. Our running back was supposed to be on a route, and I should have known the button of the guy running across the middle of the field. We're already shook up. It's 3rd and 30. This is brutal. What we cannot do is take a safety. Fortunately, we only gave up 3 points, but if we're going to deal with Stadium Pulse, what we have got to do is complete some shorter passes, except it's not letting me throw it. Are you serious? Are you just not able to throw it to certain buttons this year? I mean, I don't even know what to do now. We're getting a few. This is not good. This is not good. Do I even know what play we have out there? No, but I'm hoping we can get it into that gap. I think we have met our match. We haven't even experienced a distorted play clock yet. This could actually be a touchdown if people get jumbled up enough, but I just don't think the hot route that I want to put into place is going to work. It's there. It's there. Throw on the run is short. We need a stronger arm. We really do. It's a read option. This is bad. I could just make sure we get this ball out and take a shot over on that side, but instead, we're going to hit our crosser. I was taking a look at the other read that I wanted to throw, and he got completely shut down. The press was hounding him. That's a cute little dog, though. You can't be upset whenever a dog pops up on the screen. Even if they're a bulldog, I don't think we're going to be able to get this streak in place. We have it. We'll see. We'll see if it's there. I wanted a slant as well, but he just got destroyed. There's just no way that this bubble gets open either, which means we're throwing the RPO, trying to build up confidence. And here we go. 3rd down. What I wanted to do was get outside the pocket and once again miss the slant. This is brutal. We simply have zero composure, and having play action on all of these plays is not making it any better for us, though we are going to be on a 3rd manageable. I just don't think I'm going to be able to hit these slants. I mean, I've been hoping to hit them recently. They have somebody right there. Do we have enough? We do. I honestly wanted to throw to our other receiver on that side, but I didn't know what button he was. Speed option, pitch it. There we go. We're building up a little bit of momentum here. They've actually not given me many opportunities to run the ball, which is a little unfortunate, but these are the plays that are working. Once we start dropping back, taking sacks, I mean, they're literally shedding for instant pressure. That's where we're going to struggle. As we keep on building up momentum, though, that stadium pulse effect isn't going to be as strong. There's just no excuses. You got to pick up your block there, and then we have a nice gain. Our tight end's open. Come on. We're getting taken off again. I can't even go for it. And I think this is an RPO of some sort. Thankfully, the run got us a couple. You know, last season when I wanted to be the one that was playing undefeated LSU at Death Valley, I'm starting to realize I don't. I think I want to start taking the Alex Moran route with Tyreek. I don't want to be out there on the field. I don't know what button's what now. I had to throw it away. The worst part, too, is we could have done something. At least we're going to have our tight end up the seam. And here we go. Bubble screen. We have both of those blocks picked up. Another 5. What Coach is starting to realize is we're doing better with stuff like that. So he's given me a run where I just had to hand it off. And I have one goal here is simply not take a sack. If this is 4th and short, though, we might have to go for it. Never mind. We're going to make it 10-3. That was the smart decision. Last time we ran this play and I wanted to throw it, it wouldn't let me. This time, they just got the pressure in, and we're going down. I don't know why I thought I was about to outrun him there. Our running back has him, but it's short. We got hit. Yeah, that can't be caught. We might just need to throw Lewis on this option route, or maybe we go over the middle, but they have someone else lurking there, and we're not going to have time to get it out now. I have never felt more helpless when playing against a defense. And that goes for all of the time on College Football 25. I mean, this is just brutal. I mean, last year, there were definitely times where I would struggle, especially on the road. What are you doing? I'm not LeBron or anything, but if I was, I'd be having Coach pull him out immediately. On the run, that's going to be a hand on it. I knew it. I knew it. We literally just needed half a second longer, and we could have gotten that. I'm not sure if Boyett's going to be able to get that space. Give me time. I mean, we have no choice but to punt for like the 50th time. And it's just embarrassing. I feel like I can't do anything offensively. We're going to go with the running back on every single passing play. I'm also going to let him get this carry right here, or we're going to pull it because they didn't think I was going to keep it. And this is fine. This game's not over because their offense has played a really rough game so far. There we go. There we go. Down to the red zone. I really like the momentum that we carry, but the only reason I don't like this play is sometimes these receivers aren't going to finish their drag route. Like right there, he didn't finish it, but it worked. Okay, this is a quarterback run. I'm taking it up the middle. I'm making sure that we get the first down, and I am powering through. I also believe I need to run down as much clock as I can in this game, because if I don't do that, Georgia is literally just going to drive down the field and score. I want to see overtime. I'm trying to escape. That's a brutal sack. I literally needed to move just half a second sooner. We have to get that out. What I'm hoping for is Alfred gets open over the middle of the field. If he doesn't, if they drop back a zone there, I'm probably throwing a pick. But what do you do when you feel like you don't even have the time to get that ball out? 4th down. It's open. It's open. Come on. Come on. We get in. Let's go for 2. Let's go for 2. He's celebrating in the bushes. He's so happy. He doesn't care. He's getting prickly things all over him. And yes, Coach has given me the opportunity to go for it. Look at spacing switch. We're going to have 2 hitch routes to throw, either Boyett or Williams. That's my read. And if they get an instant pressure, I'm prepared. I'm prepared. Catch it. Is he in? He's in. We've done it. We've done it. Georgia can't do anything. We just overcame them on the road. This might be my greatest win on College Football 26 yet. That was pure struggle, pure defensive battle, but we overcame. I never want to play another game like that. That was absolutely brutal. I don't think Tyreek was a big fan of it either. Look at the impact it took on his body. I think we're going to spend most of our energy literally just healing him. It's going to cost us 4 energy to do that. At least we're in a good position still while we look through these conference standings. It would have been much worse if we lost to Georgia. And I really just have to hope that we're able to beat out the Gators too. I think by this point in the season though, the fans have got to love me. We're going to run up to them. They need to recognize my value. By now I want Tyreek Milton signing for some big money so we can start to make huge upgrades. Starting the game like that was definitely unfortunate, but I was able to get the defense to bite and they had a safety back to play that ball. They knew where I wanted to go. This time they're going to run cover 3, which means we're going to have to fit it above those zones' heads. They got a hand on it. I tried to throw it harder. But fortunately for us, the Gators did absolutely nothing. And then my defense let me get railed. No protection either. Can we please just give myself like a little bit of time? There we go. It's off target. It's off target, isn't it? No, we're running under it, and we're going to go all the way to the 1. Florida thought they had us for a second, but they didn't. We get the blocks, and we're in the end zone. Let me dunk it on the skull right here. I think they took it out still. I want to be able to do it, but I really don't think it's legal by NCAA rules, so that's why you can't. This is a cover 0 look, though, most likely. I was prepared for it. I was ready for this moment. Throw it up to our 6'5" receiver and let him go to work. If I throw an interception out of that play, I'm cool with it because I'm taking a shot for us to get down the field a lot quicker. I'm going to do the same thing I did on our last big play as well. Try and utilize playmaker. It didn't work, but that's coming well. It's working out for us. And now we're going to have the drag. Easy. Easiest reads of my life. I guess we're going to go for rushing touchdowns in this game, which isn't the worst thing in the world because normally whenever calculating for awards, they care a lot about rushing touchdowns. I only have a year and a half left in my career. I want to be able to win the Heisman Trophy. And most importantly, I would love to compete for a national championship, though I'm not sure if that's going to happen at Ole Miss. We will see what the roster's looking like going into next season. I really don't want to transfer every single year of my career. I'm just worried a lot of these receivers are going to leave. If they all go onto the draft or something, I would be very disappointed. I shifted my line to block on that side, and they still got in. I wanted to roll out and hit a receiver there. If we take this drag, it's going to guarantee field goal range, but I don't think we're scoring a touchdown. It's just asking for a lot with only 13 seconds left and one timeout. If we scramble out of bounds, that'll at least stop the clock. But I'm going to be honest, this needs to be a laser. We're going to see if it's there. If it's not, we're not taking it, but I had to try. I had to try. It's so unfortunate that we're not putting Florida away yet. They were able to score again, but that's kind of expected. I mean, we're facing off against a good team. On 3rd and 10, though, they are probably going to get us off of the field just because I don't think we're going to have what it takes to pick it up. And that's something that last year at James Madison would have not worked for us. I also know that we had a lead like this against Washington State, where we ended up eventually losing that game, so I don't feel very comfortable until we get a bigger lead. On 3rd and 3, I see a gap in between the defensive line, so we're going to take all that space. And this is going to put us in ISO with that massive defensive lineman. We made the right read. There's just not anywhere to go. With a little bit of play action, it just didn't work. And I really don't know if I believe you're better off having play action out there whenever you're trying to get off a throw. I watched a great data-driven, statistical-driven video on it where in the last game, College Football 25, you had more time in the pocket whenever play action was out there than whenever it wasn't. An extra second, in fact, but the big thing about it is you can't hit R2 at any moment. So that's a huge thing I typically tend to do. And I'm just wondering how much of that is part of the animation anyway, where you can't get the ball out in the first place. I don't know. It's now 3rd and 8, and I don't think we're going to be able to get in here, but I was expecting that to at least be on target. Instead, we're kicking 3. Just absolutely no composure when we need it. Thankfully, our defense did what they needed to. They got to stop, and honestly, we have a very open receiver over on the other side of the field. Since then, all I did was run the ball a couple of times, forcing Florida to use timeouts, and we missed. That's okay, though. They have no timeouts left, down by 10. And so by the time they scored, we recover the onside kick. This game's over. We have somehow done it. We have stumbled into being 5-1 with Ole Miss. And we have just enough skill points to upgrade our throw power, which would make a lot of sense, but I actually think that if we don't focus in on our health, if we don't get that toughness up, then we're not going to have great wear and tear. That was really disappointing to spend that many skill points on, but I'm looking at my season and career health and wondering, can we last for another 20 games? I already transparently had adjusted the sliders pretty early on once I saw how big of a hit it was taking to our career wear and tear because I didn't know if I'd be able to make it to the end of this whole series, so you might want to do that as well for your first one. As we look at the rest of our schedule, we got Kentucky, we have Arkansas, 2 games that could give us problems where we could also just dominate, then we have to play number 4 LSU, play Oklahoma on the road, which means we have to face off against Lane Kiffin, and still face off against number 2 Mississippi State as well. It's not looking great. Our final 4 games are all against teams that are either 5-1 or 6-0, and we have fallen out of the Heisman race, probably because we're not putting up as insane of numbers. We really need to get back to throwing for tons of touchdowns and yards every single game, and I know my favorite team has it in them to make this a tough one for us to pull out, so we better be careful or else we could lose this. They've beaten Ole Miss before, but they gave us the ball to start on their side of the field, so they're already off to a rough start. Tyreek could literally get a touchdown pass within the first minute, but we can never have anything happen easily for us. I like this coverage look. He was open, and then he got railed. It's looking like we might have to settle for 3, unfortunately. Like, how is it collapsing that fast? I guess our overall on our offensive line could actually be terrible, especially since we have great receivers, and our team overall is not good. So that might be what we're dealing with. It's just so frustrating. I don't know if I can handle another season playing for Ole Miss unless they make some additions in the portal, because that should never, ever happen. Instead, they're running it back for a pick 6 now. Come on. Okay, that was actually really cool. They turned off the lights for a little bit. I gotta say, that's neat. Wildcat mascot. Also great to have him back in the game. But I might need to actually learn how to make some blocking protections or else I'm never going to be able to win a championship Look at that. We're getting out of there. Maybe I need to keep it simple. Just the shorter reads. We got a comeback route there that they're about to play. So we're going to use Playmaker and then make sure that we go down inside the red zone. Let's not get discouraged off of one interception. One interception is not going to make or break this game. We should be able to take this one in ourselves. And if I hyper-focused on how quick I have to make a read, then I'm going to get more annoyed. But if I hyper-focus on getting the ball out fast, then it won't be a problem. How long do you think I'm going to last before I start complaining again? I give myself like a solid 3 or 4 more plays. The simple reads have been best. But all of a sudden, it's 3rd and 3 where we're just going to get it out, and we're probably going to be marked short. At first, we were going to have to punt it back to them, but after reviewing the spot of the ball, we are able to get it back, and this could be a great throw on the run. We're back in the red zone. I'm really surprised that even being on the road, we were able to get the right call. That needs to be quicker. I've kind of just decided that wasting an upgrade on toughness wasn't worth it when our throw power is still struggling. We should have had a touchdown there too. I'm going to take it in on the speed option myself. I want credit, and that was perfect. There's already a flag right after hiking the ball. I don't even know if I should throw this or try to complete the pass. It was against them, though, so it was a free play. I could have sent up something that was easy to grab. And let's see if we can get that safety tested. What are we going to go with? Nothing. I'm a little bit worried about our wear and tear because, as you can see, it's starting to tick down. We aren't that deep into the season either. They have a safety back there that can make a play on that. And thankfully, our defense has gotten it in a great spot. I'm just oblivious to the blitz. It never gets picked up the way we need it to be. And I'm going to be honest, we're hoping for this playmaker to work out. It playmakered the running back who was closer. That's how it should have gone. That's how it should have gone. I know this is going to be hard to believe, but I'm having absolutely no fun playing against my favorite team. Though, we might have actually been able to pull this off, except our receiver ran back just to catch it over 3 guys. I don't even know what is happening at this point. What are we going to take as a read? A sack, a sack. I'm basically just suffering every single time. I mean, we split the safeties there, which is nice. But I'm just prepared for them to get in so fast, which means we have to get that ball out. Fortunately, we got a defensive stop, and we're locked in now. We're in a tie game. Not much time left. Touchdown, touchdown, except it's underthrown. I think we still got it, though. Was it caught? I mean, it was kind of hard to tell there. What do we got here? We got our flat open. They got over to it. Unfortunate. I definitely think we need a touchdown, if anything, though it's collapsed. It's collapsed. There's no point into even trying to get more than a few yards here, because if we do, then we're probably going to take a sack or lose more. So what we're going to do is we're going to kick our 3 and hope for our defense to play well. You're probably not going to believe this, though. We didn't hit a field goal. We didn't hit the field goal. Absolutely ridiculous stuff happening right now. I mean, we're about to have to kick it back to them. We're set to go to overtime. That's like the last thing that I want on the road. Thankfully, that worked out. And we got their defense in a bad spot. If we can just hit this throw. Unfortunately, though, nothing can ever go the way that we want it. So what we're going to need to do is just send up the fade route, and we completed it. Now, can we kick a field goal from there? I don't know where we're at. It turns out we can, but we missed another. So I put us in field goal range twice, and we just couldn't end this game. I mean, we're trying our hardest to lose to Kentucky. Don't get me wrong, I've not played well. So it's not like it's all on them. But you cannot look me dead in the eyes and tell me that there was anything I could have done there. They're just letting pressure in so fast. Thankfully, from the looks of it, we got to stop. We're going to escape with a win. We came out of Kroger Field on top. But even though we're excited, I'm not excited. I'm not happy throwing 2 picks. I also made a major mistake. I upgraded everything besides our health. I spent all of our energy on leadership and academics. That means we're going into this next game expecting to have some problems because we're not going to be at full strength. But it's the next day, so my morale's a little bit higher. I'm looking forward to how we do here. First play of the game, we're just going to start out with a little jailbreak screen. It looks like we got 6. And I'm going to be rolling out instantly. It's designed in this play for us to make a terrible throw. They have not made this game easy, that's for sure. But we had our zig, and they just didn't let me get it out. So now we're on our next drive. We're going to be able to split the safeties, I think, just because I put a streak out there on the field. Breaking a tackle, too. Being able to hot route, being able to audible has been game-changing. We would not be having success like this if we couldn't. Max is fighting, and he's still my favorite receiver on this team. I'm going to go back to Max on this one, and Lewis gets it inside the 5. I also feel like we should have a touchdown here just based off of the alignment that they're coming out in. We had to get the ball out quick. And look at the lights flashing on and off. We got the Tyreek sign in the stands. So I've been waiting to see something like that. I knew it was added to the presentation. I just feel like in most of these night games, it hasn't occurred. That was sick though. It makes me want to get into the end zone again. Bad pass. And we have been bailed out. He's sitting there saying straps, but there was a penalty. At the start of the second quarter, a little bit of a play action to get the defense confused. Then we're going to playmaker over them. We have a blocker there ready to help, but there's too many guys around to tackle. And if Arkansas wants to stand a chance in this matchup, they better start to lock in or else we're going to dominate. In fact, if this is cover 2 man, I am going to split the defense there. I was throwing this either way, and it wasn't open. There's a reason that we dropped the ball, but our check down is, which means we can move the chains to the 15. This is good stuff. Now we're going to see how those zone drops work. I should not have thrown that ball. I know a read like that is not going to surprise many of you, but I had an idea in mind. I feel like I have to immediately roll out on a lot of these plays. We're going to just pick up the first, and there's still a minute left on the clock. Where, oh gosh, we're running for our life. We also have some guys out there that have like 65 pass blocks starting for us. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I don't think that we recruited guys that could pass block too well, but we can always throw it to Max. Max Lewis is on his way to having his best game yet. I need a little bit more. You give me a second there, and we're going to be at like the 20-yard line. We're not going to get that second on this play, though. And I think the worst part about all of this is the longer the game goes on for, the more those wear and tear effects are going to take place. With that in mind, we might just need to run the ball a little bit more here. I couldn't get out. And I want to say it's going to be a long second half, but our defense keeps on clutching up, getting us the ball back in this position. We just aren't moving it very well. We're collapsing. And I don't even know if I'm going to have the throw power to throw this up over on that left side, but it's the direction I'm looking in. Or we could go there and still not get the first. These quick drives are causing us to lose our lead, but I don't know what else I can do. When we run the ball, we get nothing. We have no choice but to throw it, and I mean, that just dropped right in his hands. But it was in the air for so long. Like, what is the trajectory on this literal 5-yard pass? Here we go. 3rd and 1. Are they going to play the bubble? They're not. We're going to have it. Max Lewis gets the first. And what I'm wondering is if we just put Lamp on a route like that, if we could try and split the safeties. If it's not there, we hit our running back and we get close. I'm in the position where closing out this game is the most important part. We're going to continue to use some motion, and we are one step closer to winning this game, but we're going to lose some yardage. We have no choice but to unfortunately throw the football. This time we did pick up the rusher, but it's the low pass block stats that mean we have 0 time back there. And I am shaking off my arm because of the wear and tear effects. I knew that was a new feature that they added. Finally got to experience it. But we can shake off our arm and then complete a good pass. Arkansas is out of timeouts. You give me one more first down, we're ending this game. All we have to do is keep the clock running. I am a little concerned, though, that there was no quarterback kneel. We're going to take the free touchdown. And look at the effects that wear and tear is having on my body. We got -10 speed, -13 throw power. We're down to 71 throw power. It is a miracle that we were able to survive against Arkansas. We're dapping up with their coach, though. He respects a solid player. And after fully healing myself, we're bouncing back, though I'm confused. Why are we not gaining followers off of playing well? We're down to 12,000 followers, so we have lost followers this season. It's like if some of the stuff that was just in here worked the way you would expect it to, it would be so solid. Either way, though, it's time for our biggest matchup of the season. We're in the SEC championship most likely if we can take down the Tigers. And this one is going to be a night game. I don't know if Ole Miss does the light shows, though. That might only be schools like Alabama. I remember seeing them in the trailer. Texas might have had one. Ohio State. But we do got the baby blue crowd. We're running out with all the band students around us. And eventually, you know that we're going to get over to the student section. No one's cheering on LSU. This is going to be a tough environment for them to play in. The way I couldn't score against Georgia, I'm expecting our defense to put on that same type of show in this game. Now, I have seen comments that seem to think the home field advantage is only for you. It doesn't affect the other team. But that just doesn't make much sense to me. I would expect the computer to also feel those same effects. If we could have gotten a block on that kid, I guess we didn't need it in the end. But it would have been nice. We got a slant open. Or a crosser that we missed. There's a flag. Once again, he's starting to celebrate. The same thing happened last week, but it's a penalty. If I'm coach and I see that, he is getting benched almost immediately. We can't be taunting like that. Instantly, tight end's going to get open, and he's going to dive in. It looks super wonky, but as long as we get the points, it's fine. You know, I just want a fun football game to play. I have never played a football game that didn't have awkward animations occur. And sometimes, if you're gaming with your friends, those are the funniest of them all because you'll just die laughing at the game for a solid 5 minutes. What I'm seeing, though, is a very, Very good start for us in this matchup. I'm about to take a sack. And let's keep it a buck. I was looking very deep down the field. I wasn't looking for a short throw. We can still move the chains, though, with the way that we've set this up. We just need to make sure that we get enough. And look at the trust that coach has had in me. He let me hurry it up for 4th and 1, which ended up being the right decision, though our center got flattened. I am just so sick of some of the blocking that we've had to deal with on this offensive line. If I'm a stay at Ole Miss, they need to do either a good job in recruiting pass protectors, or they need to do a very good job in the portal. Either way, we need more pass protectors. I threw that pass there so we could end that drive with a field goal, go up by 3 possessions. Just based off of the score in this game, I feel like our home field advantage is working. And I really want to get a huge play versus LSU. But they're just not going to let that happen before the end of the half, are they? Either way, we're starting the second half up 17-0 with the football. And I think I got the cover 2 man-to-man look I'm looking for. But they jammed our inside receiver with their man-to-man, so we just had to take the short throw. Against some other schools, that would have been a touchdown for sure. Come on. I need our left guard to pick that kid up because I was just trying to stay in the pocket and make a throw over to that part of the field. That makes it 3rd and 13, though. Our running back's wide open on his wheel route, and I think we're about to put away LSU. We're rolling out. We're going to trust Max to come back to this football. That's why I throw to him so much. They would eventually score, but we're still up by 3 possessions. All we have to do is work on running down this clock. But here's the thing. You know me. I'm going to drop back and still try to throw the ball way too often. I really don't know if I'm a huge fan of the new tackling system or not yet. I haven't played enough defense to figure it out to really assess on that, though. That could have been a crazy pick. I honestly thought that we had him beat, but we didn't have the speed to outrun him. Here we go, though. Another 3rd down, another day of just moving the chains. And I'm going to be honest, we've done a good job of picking up 1st down after 1st down. They can't get the ball back. I really think I could score another touchdown before the end of this game, but we're going to have to find a way to pick up this 3rd and 7 where I ran around forever and probably just gave them a pick. I'm telling you all, if I can just get Magician back there, I think my life would be a lot easier. I'm curious what our stats were at the end of this matchup, though. It looks like we went 20 for 27 for only 229 yards, but we didn't throw a pick. We had 3 tutties. And most importantly, I'm still confident as we finish off the year against 2 6-3 teams and then undefeated #1 Mississippi State. They're having a great season. Good for them. We need to make sure that we beat them. We're going to upgrade our throw power, get it up to 86. And that has me feeling a little bit better about going on the road at Oklahoma. Lane Kiffin thinks he can just leave the Rebels, and we're not going to go out and beat him. As he's sitting over there coaching on the sideline, I want to make sure that we have a great performance starting off this game with a potential touchdown. Better throw power. I saw our running back had the speed to outrun the linebacker, and he gets in. He gets in. That is a crowd silencer. That is how we need to open up this game, though I am a little bit surprised that I just threw it straight back to them, and they get in. I was going to say I was surprised we missed the extra point, but I let Alex Bishop just get a pick 6. I thought they set in a blitz and I had to get that ball out extremely quick. It looked like man-to-man coverage. Now, this crowd is completely fired up, and I can't see a thing before the play. I didn't know what button was what there. I only have an idea of what we got on this one, but this crowd is roaring. We are obviously not going to get very much time, and this is what I'm talking about, dude. Our starting center can't have such low pass protection. It's like if we're running the ball, I think he's got like 85 run block or something, so it ends up being okay, but we don't run the ball. Just like that, Oklahoma would score again, so we're already down by 8, and we're just going to hit a little quick throw. I wanted to make sure that we got some momentum back on our side, and if they're going to drop back, we're going to miss that too. I would have been better off just scrambling. It's 3rd and 10. It's not there. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I see this one getting much better for us. It's now 21-6. And at least when we were struggling on the road at Georgia, they just weren't scoring very many points. I can't even run the ball, though. We don't pick up the 1st down despite literally only needing a yard. At the moment, the crowd's starting to get a little bit more into it again, unfortunately. They picked that? I mean, we were in front of him. How? How? This might go down as the worst game in our career so far. I mean, the stadium effects are at least gone because it's a blowout. But we are playing some awful football, and I can't just keep taking 5-yard throws. I'm going to be honest, if a comeback can happen out of this game, it would be one of the most impressive ones I've had. But I am fully expecting us to pick up our 2nd loss of the year, especially after that. We just need some clean pockets to get these balls out in. We're going to do that there. And let's see what we can do with this throw. I have an idea of where I want to go. It's not really there, so we're running, and I'm stuck. I was trying to playmaker at the last second. Coming out in the 3rd quarter, though, it looks completely different out here on the field. completely different. I think the sliding looks sick though. So despite the performance, we can at least admire that. We still need 9 more yards on 3rd down, which means I was immediately looking over at our tight end in the seam. That was a solid way to get some more yards there, but we're just running for our life. I need to know what teams can promise me solid offensive lines the next time I'm looking to go somewhere. That's a huge deal to me. Quick throws with our updated throw power. At first, it said that we scored a touchdown, but then it didn't give it to us. I'm just trying to make this close and a respectable matchup. The Stadium Pulse is going to come back, especially after we just took it in right there. But hang on. Although we had a rough opening to this game, we score on this drive. We're back within a possession, and that throw on the run, just trying to escape 3 dudes in our face, was genuinely impressive stuff. Then we're going to wait for our tight end to have his low release route, another 8 yards. So do not count us out of this game yet. We're going to get off one more snap before the end of the 3rd quarter, and I see the space. Let's take it. Let's take it. Get to the 8. As long as 15 doesn't play Williams here, I would have thrown the bubble, but we had no choice but to run. And I'd probably throw a pick if I tried to hit Lewis where I want to in the end zone here. So we're going to roll out instead, and I need you to hold that block. That's actually so disappointing there. I think if I set my protection, he probably would have done a better job. But now they're forcing us to go for it on 4th and goal, and I don't want to go for it here. I would much rather kick our field goal. We're just going to send it up, and he's dropped the ball. By the time that we're getting it back, this game is over. I'm a little bit confused. It says we've scored 3 touchdowns, but we have 16 points. So if I get credit for a touchdown that I didn't score, I guess I'll take it. That'll look good on the stat sheet. That will not look good on the stat sheet. In fact, that looks awful on the stat sheet. I knew things were looking too good in this road to glory, though, when I hadn't had games like this happen very often. And just take a look at our season and career health. It's depleting so fast. Fortunately, we're not out of the running for a spot in the SEC championship yet. We could still get into the playoffs too. We're just gonna have to win our final 2 games. And before we play the #1 team in the country on the road, we get to face South Carolina. That final game of the season is going to be very tough for us. I was not expecting Mississippi State to be this good. We should probably be more worried about South Carolina though, just because if I don't worry about them, then we'd probably find a way to lose here too. And I gotta say, this might be my favorite crowd that we've had at an Ole Miss game, especially with these jersey colors. Everything just looks so visually satisfying. I don't know how to describe it. Just this combo of colors, the saturation on it, I don't know. It looks good. It makes me happy. It makes me think that we're going to come out, have a solid performance. There's no shadows or anything. It's just us, football, and a touchdown I was going to try to throw. My playmaker didn't go through. My playmaker didn't go through. Okay, hang on. We're cooking. Just let me make it to the 1st down marker. We're locked, baby. A little bit of play action again. I really need to get play action out of our playbook. But it's like it's a completely different game whenever I don't have to worry about home field advantage. There was no time for our routes to develop on that play, though. We have to throw this one over that linebacker's head. And that could have easily been another interception, but thankfully it wasn't. South Carolina has been able to respond back, though, and pretty easily as well. I'm still able to outrun these defenders, which just feels great. We're going to have a ball dropped into the hands of our receiver. And all of a sudden, the game is not as visually appealing. It's a lot worse. It's darker, but we're still at the 2. As it gets later in the day, the start of the 2nd quarter is not exactly what I love to look at, but we're in. And I like the idea of Alfred over on that left-hand side, just toasting him deep. I was honestly not checking whether he did or not. I was just sending it. I had a lot of faith in him. It didn't end up working out for us, but we can throw it above that zone and get the 1st down. This actually might be my favorite play in the entire playbook. I put a couple of hot routes in there, and it seems like that corner route just has a way of getting open, but I messed it up. What I need to make sure I avoid doing, though, in this game is throwing interceptions. We don't have any so far. We've been able to pass for quite a bit. And last week added so many to our total that I'm not expecting us to be in competition for awards any longer. It's okay, though. There is always next year. We are going to just throw this short and hope we hang on. That is exactly what I expect whenever I see that we got leverage. I'm greedy. Give me the touchdown. You know, it's real unfortunate our defense is playing the way that they are so far in this matchup. But I think if we end up getting like a safety over there on that left side, we might be able to hit this and have a lot of success with it. Ryan Williams did it against me in the early gameplay. That was not exactly how I envisioned us making that catch, but you know what? It works out. And we're going to have our receiver but it was put a little too high. Max Lewis is going to come right where we want him to, though. We just need a little bit more time, wait for him to stop, and he should have had it. Now coach is taking us off the field. And South Carolina's been able to keep this tight, but you know what? Lighting looks a lot better as we get closer to the end of the game. It's gotten dark now, and that was obviously not what we were looking for there. We'll have to go short. I'm just so annoyed. Whenever we miss passes, I end up being really unhappy because we've maxed out our accuracy. It's not like it's a 99, but I would think it would be enough to where we could hit about anything. And what that might mean is abilities matter more than I'm thinking. If they don't get over to that, we should have had it. But he just chose to make such a weird animation when going for that catch. If he would have gone for a possession catch, we would have already had a touchdown. It's all right, though. We're still cooking. I just got read like a book. I just got read like a book. Never mind. All right, buddy. I'm hitting you hard. You're about to get hit hard here. Not hard enough. I really thought I could throw that before they'd get out to it. Fortunately, they weren't able to score, and we should probably just be more focused on closing this one out. We're going to pick up the 3rd and 2. Great way to turn out of there, but we are going to continue to keep things through the air just because I feel like that's where we have our success. I really like the ISO that we have over on that side of the field on 3rd and 4 too. If that zone can't play that hitch, I should have just taken it the first time. Instead, though, we have been able to find him for more yards. I thought that the corner out there was going to be playing a lot tighter on him because there was no one else for him to guard. We need to not fumble. And can you imagine I throw another red zone interception just costing us this game? That wouldn't be good. Okay, so I'm not even getting excited about that. That was not open. Fortunately, though, even though South Carolina would score again, we got the onside kick. And this is where Super Sim would make a great addition because you'd be able to watch those plays that you're actually not on the field for. Here we go, though. As you can see, we win this game. Unless Texas would have the tiebreaker over us, we're going to be in the conference championship. And they aren't a high overall team, but just the fact that we have to play on the road is terrifying. I do not trust myself in these situations. I saw what Georgia did. I saw what Oklahoma did to my offense. And those cowbells that they ring are going to be so annoying to listen to. I haven't even changed the camera angle on this first snap. That actually looked kind of nice, though. There's just this constant annoying ringing in my ear that is going to drive me insane throughout this game. We had nothing short to throw. And I think we're going to have Boyett if he just immediately takes off. I'm not sure they can get back to him, but we're going down. That already makes this 10-0. I don't love anything besides the check down, and we'll see. Can we get any time back here? I wouldn't have had a chance to get that throw off if I wanted to. There's just no way that that gets us the first. And I've been shocked at how these fade routes don't beat coverage deep the same way they did last year. All of the plays I have had out there have been these deep shots, so that's why I've been running so many of them, especially since hot routes aren't going through, but we're just not completing any of our passes, and I couldn't get it out. Fortunately, once we go down by a certain amount, the stadium pulse just goes away. Like 13 points, stadium pulse isn't there. This is a massive run, by the way. We get caught, but we have not seen Tyreek Milton II pull off something like that before. We needed that too. Tight end, open on his drag. That was my high school money play. We're in. We're back in this game. That was all that we needed. It was a slow start. It was a disappointing start. But now I have a lot more confidence on my side. And I think we're going to be able to get like 50 yards out of this, which shouldn't have worked. Here we go. We have Williams. We have Williams in the seam. I think this could be picked, but we're going to throw it as quick as possible. I saw it. I saw it. They really just gave me too much time to work with. I mean, we're going to have a huge gain over the middle if that was on target. And just the fact that we're in this position to end the first half is great. They're playing Fiend in the background, though. They're trying to get hype. I mean, this is the end of the first half, dude. You shouldn't have to get that hype. I gave him a free pick. I should have known there was going to be a safety there. Without him there, it was a touchdown. It was worth a shot in case we could have gotten a field goal. But my worst fear is all that momentum is going to carry over into this second half. That time the play action actually worked. I just didn't hit the route that I needed to quick enough. We broke down in the pocket here so quickly. And it's 3rd and 20. I don't even think I could force this if I wanted to. No hot routes going through for us to be able to pick up some more yards here. And yeah, we're going to go down. Fortunately, though, after all of that, the stadium pulse is very quiet. They have a lead, but they're only up by 7 points. This is what happens, though, if you don't have like a top 25 place in the country to play at. Your stadium pulse isn't as impactful. Going up against Oklahoma, going up against Georgia was far more brutal. They have someone lurking right there, but I had to throw it. That is literally exactly what we needed. They almost got a hand on that ball there. But all is good. We're still in the running to make the playoffs as well. I think another loss would drop us out. I would hope not. But we won't really know until we get out of this week anyway, and that was the route I've been looking for. Ideally, we win this game, we go to the SEC championship, and we have a lot of success. I mean, on the ground, we've been effective. They have not been able to stop Tyreek Milton when he decides to take off. We beat their press there. We're in the end zone, and we have the ball back 21-all. I actually decided to run it here, which finally worked out. See, here's the thing. If I take a sack, they're going to have a chance to get right back in this game, so we have to be very careful. We have full control at the moment. All we have to do is make sure we get a field goal. I just saw 52, their edge rusher, light up red, though. That means he has the Heisman tier. He's probably going to get off of the line very fast. I'm just keeping that in mind. I do not want to roll out to that left side, or I guess the right side. We're taking our running back to the 30, though. And at some point, Mississippi State is going to have to start calling some timeouts. In my mind, we've done it, but we still need to get a little bit more yards, run off a little bit more time. Come on, don't get in my way. This could actually be really bad if we don't pick this up, but I have a plan. The tight end always gets there, and we're going to have it again. I feel like that basically does it. I mean, as long as we didn't lose that pitch there, we have it still. There's like nothing that they can do. We're setting up down the middle to kick a field goal. I could have fumbled, though. Is going for a touchdown worth it in this situation? I'm not sure it is. I mean, they just got bailed out by an injury timeout. I just don't trust the computer to hit a field goal. Either way, we were able to seal it there. We're lifting up the Egg Bowl trophy. That was a tough win to get on the road. That should put us in the SEC championship, too. There it is. We're going to be taking on Auburn. We're ranked number 5. We are in the playoffs either way. But I have started to notice our season and career health is in the severe threshold, and I don't know if we're even going to have what it takes to play another season. I'm starting to think this could be it for Tyreek Milton II. I mean, if we go out and we win a championship, that says a lot. We'd have to win 4 straight games, but I believe we're good enough to do that. We finished high up in the SEC. We struggled on the road, but there's no more road games left. We're just playing against a quarterback competing for the Heisman Trophy who has been able to throw for 33 touchdowns, no picks. Do you know what we did? 33 touchdowns with 11 interceptions. We rushed for a good amount, though. Where are we at on the rushing list? Don't tell me we're down at the bottom. Negative 66 rushing yards, but 9 rushing touchdowns. I don't know. After seeing Tyreek Milton's career health, I think this might just have to be the finale where it is championship or bust. What I really want to do is be able to run out on the field during this intro, though, and so far, I'm not seeing anything for that, which is pretty disappointing. I wanted to, once we get to the playoffs, the conference championship, be a part of it. Hang on. I talked a little too soon. We got the smoke going crazy. Can't see too much, but we're inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium, all around with fans surrounding us. To open this one up, we're just going to get our little warm-up pass in. We've been running this play for a few weeks now and having a lot of success. It's never like a huge gain, but we can pretty consistently get a few yards, maybe 5, even 10 sometimes. And once we do that twice, on 3rd down, what we're going to look to do is roll out, and they got a hand on it. They would also immediately score. So not the greatest start in the SEC championship so far, but if they're going to run cover 3, we're going to be able to find somebody underneath. They can't guard everywhere. It works out perfectly for us. I also could hit our running back short if I really wanted to, but I just have to look back. Am I backing up too far in the pocket? Or is it literally, oh, we just didn't pick that guy up? I think the design of having someone on an instant block and release like that, I should have been more prepared. He was probably open. I just like to click through coach suggestions, get my play out real quick, not really check what I'm doing, and hike the ball. That reach forward animation was pretty nice. We're going to get more yards there than we would have normally. And on 2nd and 4, we're going to have that route over the middle of the field. Perfect placement. If he just turned his head around, he would have 100% intercepted that ball, but no eyes, no picks. That's a feature that's supposed to be in this game. I still don't trust it, though. Sometimes I feel like I could always end up throwing a pick either way. And look at all this progress we're making. We're going to be in the end zone. I was really happy with that as a bounce back drive, but unfortunately, Auburn was able to score again, and they are getting in pressure here, which means we should not have been able to get 10 yards. If I just had like a 97 speed receiver on the outside, that would make things a lot easier. I pitched it, but not quick enough for their liking, which means the next time we got the ball, it's the 3rd quarter. That's how quickly time can go by in some of these games. If I'm taking longer to get down the field, it makes sense though. I read that a little late. And let's see what we can do with a little bit more time back there. No, we didn't get time. I was hoping that we did. Instead, we lose like 25 yards. I should have chosen a better team with a better offensive line. That's really been the biggest problem we've run into. It's like, what am I supposed to do if I don't have the time to even get the ball out in the first place? It's ridiculous. That was a great play design, though. And I actually want to run that back. So we're going to go slot cross. We're going to put our tight end on a drag. We're going to put our running back on a route like that. And this is the look. Surely, someone will be open about every single time. Break the tackle inside the red zone. I'm taking y'all in the genius mind I have up here that totally doesn't throw a bunch of interceptions. That's what I'm doing. Call me a useless Kurt Benkert because you should probably never listen to some of my advice on the gameplay. But I'm going to teach you the same way he will. I just won't teach you how to actually be good. Maybe I need to give myself a little bit more credit, though. We tie it up at 14. We got the ball back here. That's cover 3. And speaking of Kurt Benkert, I want to do a video where he teaches me this year. So what I'm hoping to learn from that is maybe I drop back too far. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything else causing the offensive line to shed as fast as they do. They weren't ready for the run. And from the looks of it, they're going to have man-to-man coverage out there. They had a guy motion across the field, but it was zone. I also saw someone lighten up with the Heisman ability, which worried me before this play. I think I just got to throw this one away, surely. You give me some more speed, and we can probably make that happen. It's cover 3. We split the zones perfectly, and that is how we're going to maintain this lead, especially in the final few minutes. Defense is playing well for us, which we need, and what are we doing? It didn't let me throw the ball there. That was so weird. Like, the buttons disappeared, and we were just all of a sudden running. It's okay, though. We've been in situations like this before. Throw on the run, on the money. We're close. I think, boy, it's going to get open no matter what here. I was ready for him to roll out. We put it on the money. He breaks a tackle, and that is why I love our tight end. He's not going to go all the way. But that's almost better because now Auburn's going to have to get rid of some of their timeouts as they try and stop us as long as I don't fumble. Let's see. What are we going to have on 2nd and 12? I'm looking at Boyett. If it's not there, we'll take a quick dump. And I just cannot believe how quick they're screaming to this day. Look at that route, though. Perfect. We just needed that throw to be accurate. It's okay. We're going to kick our 3. And it ended up being enough despite them scoring because, of course, we got the onside kick. But one of these days, we're not going to recover the onside kick. And when that happens, we lose a game because we give up like 14 straight in the final couple minutes. I'm going to be ticked. I'm so mad at myself as well. I skipped the SEC championship celebration. What we saw at James Madison, though, was it's the same as last year. It's just players standing in front of the trophy. And look at this. Tyreek Milton II has set the Ole Miss single season passing yards record. So we are in the record books. We also did it for passing touchdowns, which I find to be a little odd. I felt like we didn't have too many. I guess we had a pretty solid season still. We're SEC champions. And we finished with a 3.6 GPA. That's solid. Though watch this leadership meter. I feel like once I get it high enough, it glitches out. I guess it's not going to be this week. We could probably work a little bit on our health. And the Heisman Trophy winner went to Ohio State's quarterback. He threw for 51 touchdowns. That was a lot more than we were able to get. But we're on a bye week because we're the #1 team in the country. That's right. Duke is up here at #2. They perform so well in sim. It's because of that veer and shoot playbook. I would guarantee it. Other teams up here that shock me, Mississippi State, veer and shoot playbook. Okay, so it's starting to add up. Taking a look at this bracket, we have to play another SEC school, either Texas or Tennessee. Either one of those opponents is going to be pretty tough. And if this is going to be our last season, I guess it does make sense to train a little bit more so we can get more skill points and level up farther. I could upgrade our throw power or I could upgrade our speed. Our speed would eventually get us to unlocking the magician ability in a couple weeks, but that'd just be at the bronze tier. I think by now we just need to have a stronger arm against some of these opponents. And I am a little disappointed we never maxed out our coach trust, so we never got full access to the playbook. If we can't win a championship though, depending on how our health recovers, this might not be our last season. It'll really all just depend on if we have any chance with wear and tear. That's what worries me the most is we wouldn't. Tennessee ended up taking down Texas. And don't ask me how Central Michigan did it, but they were able to shock Notre Dame. I guess going into these playoffs, we aren't the underdog. We're the favorite. We're the #1 team in the country. We also get to run out at these games as well, so it's the playoff ones. I just want to do this at the Natty. I would also love to see that in Dynasty mode. This might just be me, but we have more upgrades to our coach now. Let me run out with my coach at all of these games if we're able to get that far. Solid start to this first quarterfinal matchup. We shouldn't have ever thrown that. I didn't know what to do with myself having that much time back there in the pocket. Maybe it's a good thing we don't normally get it. We'll see. This time, it looks like they're getting in pressure a little bit quicker, and we make a good read. I think I've just lost all patience for the shorter stuff. I want to go for big gains. I want to make highlight plays. We have to somehow make this guy miss. I tried to juke. They reworked Playmaker so you could juke players back there in the pocket. I guess we don't have that good of a juke move, or else there might have been a chance it worked. And this is perfect. It's my favorite play. 3rd down. I love how they're still blasting stuff. And you can hear the crowd, even though it is a playoff game. There it is. on the money. Neutral site, though, so it's not going to be too loud. As long as the crowd's just this annoying for Tennessee whenever they're on offense, I'm cool with it. Great zig route, man-to-man coverage, cover 2 underneath. And let's see, are they going to put Williams on an island with that corner? They're not, or else I would have taken that. Instead, what a catch from our running back. Another thing I need to get more familiar with is high passes whenever we sling it. Apparently, it makes it easier for us to catch. A couple of us were testing it in just head-to-head games, and we were doing some insane things with those high passes, but he's got me. Here we go, 3rd and 13. I have never looked over to the left side whenever we've run this play, and I will never do it again. That's going to be the end of the quarter where we're going to kick 3. It's been a pretty disappointing game so far, but this one play has led to some massive gains, and they should have never given me as much control of the playbook as they have, because we're always going deep. I audible to verticals before basically every snap. Are we going to beat the press there? We are. Touchdown. Touchdown. You know, I might have just gotten cocky there, but I had every right to get cocky there. We had no pressure. We should have been able to complete the pass. We can run it in, though. Come on, go ahead. Dunk it up there or not. We also might be able... Actually, I don't even want to say that this is going to work. There is 0 chance in the world I get enough time back here for us to pull this off. Wait, we did. No, we didn't. I think you all saw the vision, though. It was set up so perfectly, and then we just didn't have the chance to throw it. It would have been a nice little addition to this first half, but instead we're going to throw them a pick off an inaccurate pass. It's just frustrating. I maxed out my accuracy all for nothing. Should we try and scramble for this touchdown? I guess if there's only 2 players to beat, we stand a chance, but they're catching up. Unfortunately, that means the first half is going to end 10-10. What are we getting for our halftime update? Anything? Okay, we got the score. We getting some highlights. We got some team stats. And they got me on instant replay cooking that Tennessee defense for a touchdown. Listen, I know that we should be up by more than we are. We had our chances. We had our opportunities. But I saw another opportunity at the start of this 3rd quarter. They thought that they could press Max, and he said no. I don't know what they were thinking. They should have known better, at least if they had been scouting properly against us. And this is attempt number 2. You all saw it almost work out in the first half. I'm going to stay on the run this time, except they had pressure coming off of that other side, so it's definitely not going to be there. It was almost, though. That makes it 3rd and 7. We're only up by 4, so we do really need to pick this up, which we're going to. But Tennessee must hate us, because some of these tackles, the efforts that they're putting in to knock us to the ground is outrageous. Absolutely no luck going on there. We are going to need the playmaker and get it out. But here we go, 3rd and 10. We got the drag coming across. We got another one coming, and that is how we're going to get stopped. Unfortunately, we'd give up a touchdown too, which puts the pressure on us with 3 minutes left in this game. Now, I believe we can drive down the field and score, but I can only do this so many times in a row. We can't keep on finding ourselves in this situation. We got a little bit of a motion going on before this play, and that is going to open up nothing. I mean, we literally threw for like 2 yards. They know that we want to go deep. Are they going to let us go deep? That's the real question. That was almost underthrown. And I need to be careful here that we don't give them too much time, because that's something that could definitely happen. What a throw. At least it was supposed to be. Like, come on, Tyreek, man. You can miss that throw as a freshman. You can miss that throw as a sophomore. But we're talking, it is your junior year now, and it's 4th and 10. There's only one thing I know to go with here, and it's the play that has been working out for us recently. They have 2 guys over there. We still catch it. I'm going to be honest, that was a crazy bailout. That was our season right there. Completely over. Instead, we still have a chance. We have had to run down some clock, though, because I just don't trust us to actually close it out. Now, this is a hard call to make. We don't necessarily need to throw it with whatever passing play I had set up. I guess we're going to audible to this and just hope for the best. Hope that our tight end actually catches it. By now, we have locked in overtime, but I want more than overtime. I want to be able to close this out. I believe we can do it too. We're just going to have to make a really tough read, or we're going to have to fight our way in. Come on, give it to me. Now they're taking me off the field. Don't do this. Don't do this. This is such a bad time to force us to kick 3. There was 20 seconds left. Now we have to clutch up in overtime after I just clutched up to get us down the field in the first place. I really need them to give us a little bit more control in situations like that, or else it's just going to be frustrating. Come on. I went for it. We had the first down. We had a nice gain there. Instead, we got to catch it. And it's that same concept. I'm going to be honest. If we don't stay in this concept, I'm not sure we're going to score a touchdown, so we had no choice but to. Now, we needed our defense to stop Tennessee, which is exactly what they did. we're also coming out, going straight back to the drag. And it's a big deal they held them to a field goal on their second drive because I know we can get into the end zone. We're literally staying out there in hurry-up mode. If they don't figure out how to guard our tight end, this game's over. This game's over. This game's over. We did it. I don't mean to be a Jason Tatum. We did it! But we literally just clutched up at the end and made sure we are moving on to the semifinals as we head into what still could be the last game of our career. We honestly just have to be thankful we've been able to make it this far. I mean, look at our season health. I don't even feel right doing training because I'm scared that if we do training, then we're going to have no health left. At least we have the upgrade points to upgrade our throw power again. This is going to get it up to 90. And let's say we beat USC. We'd have to play either Miami or Penn State. And is every team we face in this playoff just going to be a school that Lane Kiffin's been a part of? That's what it's feeling like. Here we are at the Caesars Superdome, though. Where is this? I don't know why I'm tripping out right now. Is this in Arizona? Is this the one in Phoenix? Never mind. It's the one in Louisiana. It used to be called Mercedes-Benz Superdome. So we're here in New Orleans, keeping the read option for the first play. And, oh, we just needed you to hold that block, Max. Max holds that block, and we get a lot more yards than we were able to. But we're still going to be able to roll out, see their zone defense, and then throw above it. Because guess what? They didn't notice our tight end was sneaking behind them. He's still going. It's money. All we have to do is just get outside the pocket. I'm watching that corner. He is not on a blitz. But they ended up getting in pressure on this part. So can we make a play out of this? I don't think so, but we're still trying to. And please, don't let that be picked. Would that have been worth like the extra yard? Probably not, but I sensed a blitz coming, and I'm going to hit my favorite receiver. Come on. You know that you can't press him. We're in flow state at this point. All right, Max Lewis over there, right side. Let's see what they give us. Are they actually going to try it? They're going to try it. Let's send it up. Let's send it up and watch him catch it. He's on one today. I mean, what else am I supposed to do besides continue to feed him the football? That's the worst thing the computer does, though. It's whenever they run man-to-man coverage and just leave like one dude in a zone, breaking a tackle. And at the very least, he has set us up to get a field goal on this drive. But you know my play design in this situation. I've been cooking it up for a little bit. We have all sorts of reads open. And what I want to do is I want to put Boyett on like the smallest curl route ever, because either the drags are going to be able to get free and take us in, or he would have been there. As locked in as I am, though, I am not very comfortable snapping this ball on the 1 yard line. We had to get it out fast. I just feel like we're playing really good football at the moment. We got a block and release there. Come on. Basically, every dude should have probably been double teamed in that situation, but it's fine. We're still in a decent spot. Hitch routes there. The slant wasn't, but it was just the play design. The routes ended up running into each other. We got pretty lucky with that, and we're going to roll out, escape the pressure where they have somebody waiting to hit us. This is not concerning to me, though, because currently we're in full control of this game. I want to make sure this is the final drive of the first half. All we have to do is read the defense. Man-to-man coverage? No, it was zone, so we're going to have the drag. This is a national championship coming up. I'm telling you, with the way that we're currently playing, we can actually do that, though I need to throw this one away. That's gotta be intentional grounding. I'm not saying the ref should have called it. I'm glad that he didn't, but it just probably should have been. Tight end up the seam. Immediate. No. Instead, we just got wrecked right there. On 3rd and 10, if our slant doesn't get open, I'll go down. Apparently, USC didn't do very much with their drive either because they've given it back to us. And look at that. Don't you dare celebrate. You just tackled us before we could make the catch. What are we doing? We know USC can't play defense, so they're just starting to do stuff like that instead. Getting frustrated they can't keep up. Oh, I love when the computer goes into coverage like this. They get so spaced out. You're able to find holes like that for deep gains. And honestly, we just need to get into field goal range. That's all I'm hoping for. A touchdown in 19 seconds would be asking for a lot. I just hit the wrong button. That's so unfortunate too, because we had what I wanted. We're going to go for the deeper route over the defense right there, and it worked. It works. I set up our kicker. All he has to do is take care of business. I actually really like that type of read as well. We're going to see if it works again. Second time, just pull him down a little bit. We need him to get behind that zone, and then we're going to hit him in stride as Max might just be gone for a touchdown here. Look at me coming up with actual concepts to throw the ball with. Oh boy, that's a dot. I think I need to give credit to our offensive line in this matchup as well. They have done a much better job than in recent weeks. I just can't always expect them to hold up for a long period of time. That would be dumb. They wouldn't be able to hold up for long on every single play. What could have happened earlier on in the year was maybe I was asking for too much out of them. Y'all will have to let me know. All I can do is go back in instant replay and then get frustrated when I see guys getting in pressure way quicker, especially when it feels like they just don't pick somebody up. Like, college kids will make mistakes every so often, but it felt like it was happening too often. I just know that was one of the bigger complaints with the game last year, and it was something that they said they worked on. Here we go, though, 2nd and 15. I mean, this game is just over if we can finish off this drive. And I really like the route that Boyett's on here. We're going to wait for him to curl around, or we're going to hit our running back. Oh, well, USC would score pretty quickly, but I just don't see us blowing a 27-6 lead, especially if we're in field goal range. And I need to know, how do you do that slide that's a lot quicker than the delayed one? I was so happy to see a new slide animation in the game, but it only occurs every so often. We've also been put on a 3rd and 8. I shouldn't have been throwing the football. It opened up the game for them, but we'd end up getting the ball back and continuing to drive down the field, going for one more touchdown, which means we have won the All-State Sugar Bowl. We're leaving New Orleans on top by 24 points. And I'm excited to see who we get in the national championship. I've been pretty impatient. I haven't sat here and watched all these highlights. I've yet to see us celebrate with the trophy. But that's what we're doing here, is we add another one to our trophy room. You know, I think this is going to be it for us. No matter what, I think this is a great spot to end the series, whether we beat Penn State or not. And normally, I'd let you all dictate that in the comments, but I'm playing on the early access build, so I have to have all of it filmed now. We're going to try and get one more skill point, see what we can spend it on. It's just our health is so depleted, and I messed up the energy spend. We don't have enough to heal one more time. That was a bad mistake to make, because I don't think there's anything out here that's really worth 6 skill caps. I guess we could get a little bit better, more agility. We didn't even increase on break sack. We can't make excuses, though. We're playing the number 10 team in the country, despite them having the exact same record as we do. And this is everything. Tyreek's either going to end his college career with success, or he's going to go out a loser. I hope it's the latter, but here we are with the flames going off in our face. We're at Hard Rock Stadium, so we're in Miami. No wonder it's raining. We're sitting here in Florida, but I don't like the rain. We're already suffering from wear and tear damage, and just having a pass-heavy offense in the rain is an issue. It just seems like we might not have much going in our favor in this game, but they decided they didn't want to guard our running back. That's a bold decision. On 2nd and 4, we got man-to-man coverage, so I'm taking the comeback, or we're just going to go down pretty quickly. On 3rd down, it's going to be off target, but there's a flag. There's a flag. You can't be doing this, man. You can't be doing this. We come into this issue every single week. And you know what? That might be the most realistic football thing we've experienced while playing this entire series. You know how many times I'm either rooting for my team or the underdog. We need a stop. And then all of a sudden, on a big 3rd, 4th down play, there's a PI penalty. These college guys panic. They'll just tackle somebody. They'll tackle somebody to avoid giving up a catch, which ends up making no sense in the first place because they automatically get a 1st down. But I guess, you know, sometimes the refs, they won't call it. We're going to get our touchdown now. Solid first drive. It was consistent. It was well-timed. We kept hitting our tight end, and he can juke too. I even think we're going to be able to find him over the top of some of these zones here. I've adjusted his route. We're going to be patient. Wait, it's there. It's got to be there. My biggest issue was I'm creating route combos that are going to take a long time for us to get the throw off for. I just tested Max. I gave him his opportunity to make a great catch there, and you know what? We're going to have to throw this short if we want to get a field goal out of this drive. He clutched up for us there. We just missed the kick. If this is man-to-man coverage, we got that leverage, but it ends up being some zone, and I see it across the field. It really doesn't make things easy whenever defenses will come out disguised as well, but I might have just found a sick route combo. I can't believe I haven't run something like this before. So we put him on a streak, and then what I figured out was this goes for a slot fade, so you can custom a slot fade. We're going to shift our offensive line over to this side. We're going to roll out, and we're going to hit Williams. That's the plan. That's the plan. That was the plan. And apparently, we don't have a strong enough arm. Absolutely disgusting stuff there. I was hoping with our throw on the run stat being so high that we would have completed it. But it's fine. We can still get points before the end of this first half, especially with a catch like that. Sometimes you just got to put it in and hope that it fits. Like right there. Come on. You know what? I'm testing out my route combo again. It's going to be there, right? It's got to be there. Oh, the safety can come back to it. Here we go. 3rd and 10 with the goal of getting into field goal range. We should get into field goal range here. There it is. Perfect. We're at the 30. I actually really like that play as well, which means we're going to run it back. And it was there too. It was there too. We just didn't get the time we needed. Last time, I thought I set us up to be in field goal range. We weren't, which means I think we're going to need a little bit more here than I was expecting, but we just didn't get anything, and that's a real shame because we missed another kick. We might be able to split the defense here, though. We can. It was cover 2. Just don't get hit. This gun slot verticals against cover 2 literally shreds it every time. If you get man-to-man coverage, the tight end normally gets open underneath, and if you get cover 3, then you're just going to playmaker and miss your throw. That's okay, though. It's not the end of the world. I was expecting us to create some separation, and apparently that wasn't a catch. Can I challenge it? What happened? You know, it's moments like these where I just wonder, what are we doing? Like, how does that even happen? I don't get it. I don't get it, but it's going to be okay. We're going to pick up a huge gain on this play. And can you imagine if you like lost a national championship or something like I'm about to do off of a drop where it just goes through their hands? Oh, that's definitely worth breaking a console. Here, though, I was trying to throw. We definitely just ended up hurting our wear and tear more and getting out of field goal range for a third time. No, we hit it this time. We hit it. It's all good. Life's going to go on, and I'm going to throw my fade route, or I'm going to hit our tight end over the top because I saw him get some separation. I am fully convinced that if we were not sitting here playing in the rain, some of these drops would not be happening. Oh, I thought we had him. I just threw it into double coverage. Here's my vision, though. Here's my vision. You see Boyett? You see him? I saw him, and he dropped it again. It's okay. Penn State at a 3-and-out, too. And why am I in a hurry? If we just take this drive slowly, we're gonna be okay. All we need is a field goal. I don't know why I'm being so aggressive. I say that as I try to split the safeties. I just can't help myself, man. All right. If this is cover 3, we're gonna be fine. It's cover 1, but we're even more fine. We'll take it. We'll take a touchdown. We needed this so bad. Oh no, this seems like a situation where we're gonna fumble. That's why I keep it in my hands, but don't fumble. Don't fumble. Whatever you do, we're in. Oh my gosh, we're so locked as well. We got a defensive stop. All we need is them to burn all 3 of their timeouts. We need a first down, and this game's over. Now, you might be wondering, if we want to run out clock, why would I even risk throwing the ball? And that would be a very good point. It's all good, though. We got Fiend blasting. We're ready. We're going to pick up this first right over the middle to our tight end. If we don't, we're going to roll out and playmaker. We're going to roll out and playmaker. That's the money play. That's the money play. No. You know, we do not deserve what's about to pop up, but our defense held it down again. So, I've gotten my first national championship on College Football 26. We've been able to do it with Tyreek Milton II. He deserves this moment. This is going to be the end of his career because he's just taken too many hits. And someone needs to give him the trophy. Get it away from coach and our tight end. There we go. We got the whole team here. We're going to see it in the trophy room too. And after seeing he has 0 season health left and also almost no career health left, I'm sure he's excited to move on to the NFL. He should be a higher overall than an 80 with these stats. But the issue is it's all tied to his archetype. Out of just curiosity, who would take us in the transfer portal? See, we wouldn't even be a starter, even though we just won a national championship at some big programs. Interesting. I was curious about that. Anyway, we know that we've been able to take home multiple trophies this year. Some of them I'm more proud of than others, like beating LSU like that. That felt great. Obviously, we wanted this natty. And this all makes it worth it sitting on the bench for a year, transferring out of James Madison. We threw a few more picks here, but it doesn't matter. We were able to complete just 61% of our passes. We rushed for 11 touchdowns, and we proved we could handle ourselves in the SEC, putting ourselves in Ole Miss's record book for passing yards in the season and also passing touchdowns. That was a fun little series. I wasn't sure if it would end right here, but what it's going to do is give me a little bit more time on this early access build to film an Imperialism.